Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ethan Plays Live.
Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you're bringing down. Don't try to fix my head, it's just your anxiety. Don't hush me now, cause I just wanna shout. Don't make me dance to a tune that you're humming. No, my body don't move like that. Don't make me pretend I don't see your shortcomings. You'll be running when I raise the black flag. Get out your bomb and fly away. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is rising. To the break of dawn. You can't keep me in a cage made of tired ideas. It's rusting out faster by the day. I won't wear your leash, I won't take no deals. I won't stay quiet when there's so much left to say.
All right, good evening, everybody. Hi, welcome to Ethan Plays Live. I'm Ethan. And tonight I have got a special guest. Nyce is here, PigsInSpace, as she is also known. She will be joining us in just a moment, but before she does, I just want to talk a little bit about stuff that's going on. So for those of you who don't know, I do have a new gaming channel here on YouTube where I am going to be doing some gaming-only content. It's all video game stuff. No, nothing else. It's just video games. So if you want to watch me play video games, that's where you're going to want to do it. Now I'm also going to do some video game tutorials and lore discussions and stuff that just doesn't belong here. Stuff that's just not right for this channel. And all video game related, all video game centric. The only thing, the link is Ethan Games Live, and I forgot to capture it because I got to capture it again so that I can put it into chat for you. So give me just a second. I'll grab it and put it in chat. I had it saved, but then I saved other stuff. So now it's no longer on my clipboard. And then I scrolled away from where it was in Discord. And so now I'm scrolling in Discord, and I'm still scrolling in Discord. There it is. It wasn't that far back. Let's see. Copy link. And there it is in chat for you. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that. You can just go there, subscribe. And again, it's all video game stuff. So if that's not what you're into, totally understand. You don't have to subscribe, but that is something new that I'm doing. As far as Twitch goes, I want to give you guys an update if you didn't know. Twitch filed a lawsuit this morning in a California courtroom against two people that they allege are related to the Hate Raiders. One of them they allege is in Scandinavia, and I believe the other one is in Austria. What the lawsuit will allow them to do is, now that the lawsuit is filed, they can use the lawsuit to try to uncover more information about who the Twitch Raiders are, Twitch Hate Raiders are. And it can also help them put together the evidence they need to get the DA to file criminal charges. And if the DA will do it, then, or the U.S. Attorney's Office, if they will do that, then they'll have additional powers to go after the Hate Raiders criminally. So while it's not one of the steps that a lot of us would like them to do, it's a step. It's a step in a positive direction. It's the beginning of something. This is not something that's going to be resolved in a week or a month, maybe even a year, but it's a step. And I am glad that they're doing this because if you don't know, some of the Twitch Hate Raiders have started using my name when they hate raid other people on Twitch. Yeah. So they're claiming that they're somehow related to me, which they aren't. I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form. But there are a lot of people that the very first time they ever hear Ethan Plays Live is when a bunch of hate raiders are coming to their chat and saying awful things. So that's great. Yeah, so I am very happy that Twitch is taking this step, and I applaud it. And I don't think there's anything that I can do, but if there was, I would absolutely help them because I want these people found as much as anyone else. But the other thing is to remind you that your comments are featured here on the channel tonight. So, like always, I will put your messages up on screen as I can. I'm not always watching chat like a hawk, so sometimes you'll say stuff and it won't come up. I'm not ignoring you. There's a lot going on. So I apologize. I know you can't super chat because the channel's not monetized. So if you ask a question and I didn't put it up on screen, I didn't address it, just ask it again. It's okay. I don't mind that. I like it when you talk to me. Okay, so I think Mary was taking her dog out. So she's not ready. I have her up on a screen here. I'm waiting for her to show up. Nate! Good evening, Nate. I am glad that you're here. I tagged you on Twitter because, well, I'll just tell you. So Twitch filed a lawsuit this morning against some alleged hate raiders. In the lawsuit itself, they included some tweets of some people that had been affected by hate raids. And those people didn't know they were going to be included in the lawsuit, and they're now worried that they're going to be targeted because their tweets are in the actual lawsuit. And people were asking on Twitter whether or not they had to cover that up or could cover, like the lawyers themselves, when they filed the lawsuit, should they have covered up? Should they have not covered it up? And I tagged you and I was like, hey, Nate would know. Maybe you would know. I don't know. It's California law, California civil law. So I don't know if you know or not, but yeah, I don't know. You're the first person I thought of. So anyway, Mary is here. So yeah, I tagged you in the thread on Twitter. So just go through your mentions. You'll find it and you can look at obviously you can't give me an answer off the cuff. All right, Mary's here. So let me get over to Mary. Let me unmute her. Good evening.
Oh, it sounds like you made some people mad.
Yeah, something like that. Listen, when I interviewed Raven, my idea was I thought it was interesting, and I thought that the Twitch hate raid issues that were going on intersected well with some harassment and bullying we'd seen in our various communities. And I thought I was going to interview Raven and it was going to be interesting, and then I was never going to hear it again. Sorry. Someone said something in chat that, anyway, I just thought it would intersect well with our communities. I didn't think it was going to be a thing. And now it's a thing. It's a big, major thing. Yeah.
Well, I thought the interview was great, and I'm glad
I appreciate that.
Doing something.
I appreciate that. I need to turn you up a little bit. Can you say something again?
Hello.
Let me turn you up
Better.
a little bit
Come
more.
Closer to the mic.
Oh.
How's that?
That's better. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. Here.
All right. I think we're getting a little bit of. You said you're on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go through it. We're gonna push through it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Your voice is doubling a little bit, but I think it's because of Wi-Fi. I don't think it's your mic.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had to. Oh, thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. What's funny is about that interview, and then I do want to interview Mary because that's the reason we're here. I don't want to just sit here and talk about Raven. But when I sat down with Raven and we got into the call, Raven's like, I never do stuff on Sunday nights. I am so tired. And I was like, I am too. I never do stuff on Sunday nights either. We were both absolutely exhausted when we were doing that interview. And I'm actually really proud of it. Okay, I wasn't going to talk about this, but so the software that I use to do that is a software called Melon. And Melon is a lot like StreamYards, but it interacts with your Streamlabs alerts and stuff. I'm going to be doing a whole video about this. But the people from Melon reached out to get my feedback and said they saw my interview with Raven and they liked it a lot. And it literally made me emotional. I don't know. I don't know. It was cool, and they asked for my feedback, and I gave them some feedback. Told them I was going to make the video and everything, but it's the first time I've ever had something like that happen. It was just really cool. Okay, so first of all, Mary, welcome. Good evening.
Thank you.
Can
Can I just say something right off the bat, really quick?
Sure.
I have an excuse. Everything sucks is because I am a Twitch streamer and I've been on hiatus for like a month and a half. And in that time, my husband redid our entire office, so we have a new camera, new monitor. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking right now. So sorry, this is the first time I'm using any of it.
It's okay.
So,
yeah, we are. The only problem is we are losing your audio a little bit. Can you plug in directly to your router? No, it's not your microphone.
Okay.
It's
no,
it's your connection. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Do you have a way to plug directly into your router?
Not in this room, unfortunately.
Do you have? Is there somewhere else you could move? Because I can entertain people for 5 minutes. To get a little closer to your router, because we're just.
I have to see if I. Let me ask my husband, because I probably have to go down.
Because we're losing like the middle of every word you say.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
Go ahead and do that. I can talk to people for 5 minutes while you get it figured out. It's not a big deal. All right. All right. Yeah, we are going to get this because this conversation with Mary, like, we need to have this. It's too important. This is something that's like really going on. I want to talk a little bit about body shaming myself. There was one of the reasons I think Mary and I both want to talk about this is that there was hi Kitty. There was a recent situation in a community that intersects with ours. That's as much as I'll say, where someone changed something about their body, and I was vocal that I didn't think it was a valid thing to bring up. And I don't think that it's a valid reason to go after somebody the way that they look. I don't. I don't see anything wrong with saying to somebody like me, hey, you're overweight, you should lose weight. I am overweight and I do need to lose weight. I don't see that as body shaming. And that's one of the things I want to talk to Mary about is that whole thing. But ridiculing somebody for their looks is something that I don't find okay. Oh, Mary, go ahead and talk.
Okay, hi.
Oh, that is so much better. Okay.
Oh, all right. Is that better? Okay,
it's better.
I was gonna have to like move everything. All right, good.
Well, we're gonna give it a shot. If not, okay. I'm gonna move you.
Okay.
So what I was saying right before you got here was, we're not going to name any names. We're going to be very non-specific. Yes. But there was a situation recently in a community that intersects with ours quite often, wherein somebody's being ridiculed for something about their body. And that's kind of what sparked you and I wanting to talk about this. Yes. And what I was saying is I see nothing wrong with saying to somebody like me, hey, you're overweight, you need to lose weight. That's not body shaming. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that?
About what? About that station or in general body shaming? I do.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. I think that we don't really have the right to say anything about anybody's body. Like that's my feeling. Like,
oh, I can't. I got to stop you. No, it's not good.
Oh, it's not good. Not good.
No, the audio's not good. You're gonna have to move.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, let me go and move.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'll be back.
We'll be right back with you. Okay, so she's gonna move rooms, and we're gonna get Mary here for this. Brown Girl Life, I apologize, says, why do you feel like you need to lose weight? I feel unhealthy. I don't feel like, that's what I was going to go into. I'm glad you asked that question. It's not a question of, am I attractive? Will I become more attractive or anything like that? I want to lose weight for my health, not for any kind of, it's not because there's a standard I feel I need to live up to. And I feel that way. Like I applaud people. Oh, you know what? I can put your comment up. Oh, no, I can't because I don't have that on this screen. Hold on. I'm going to get it so I can put your comments up on this screen. So I don't have it set up here, but I want that. So, okay. And Brown Girl, I didn't mean unsolicited. I wasn't talking about just unsolicited. It's coming up to someone saying, you're overweight. That's not what I was meaning. I was just saying, I think it's okay to say that to someone that you know, or, like a family member saying it to somebody else. Or are we trying again?
No, I'm going to move downstairs. I'm going to switch to my lap. So I might have to disconnect and reconnect.
You're fine. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Read the link just in case in a DM. So when I go down and log into my
on Twitter. You want me to set it to you on Twitter?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Take your time. We're not in any rush. We got time. Let me DM this link over to her real quick. There she is. Nope, that's not it. Where is the link? People. I'm using Whereby to do this, which I've never used before. Ah, okay, there it is. Wow, that is weird. What a bizarre place to put that link. Okay, so I don't mean walking up to somebody on the street or going to somebody's Twitch or YouTube chat and telling them that. That's not what I mean at all. I'm saying if you have a relationship with somebody saying, hey, you should probably, you should probably lose weight for your health. That's very different than saying you should lose weight because of some reason that's putting them down. That's what I'm saying. It's about the approach, because you can worry about somebody's health instead of trying to shame them. You're doing it in a positive way. You're promoting being healthy. And again, we're not talking about unsolicited stuff. Again, we're going to get into this once we start talking to Mary. We've had some technical issues that have kind of thrown things into disarray tonight, but very different than, which is the point of the conversation, doing that on social media to somebody, because it's very hard to bring something like that up on social media in a way that's not shameful. And so if you want to be body positive about people, doing it in public is not the right way, especially on social media where dogpiling happens and where there are so many people attracted to negativity and using that negativity in ways that can harass people and can harm people. That's not okay. No one should ever do that. Oh, sure. No, I agree. I could be healthy, but I know that I'm not. I know that I have too much weight on me. So, again, it's not something that I'm embarrassed about. I mean, I'm sitting here just fine. It's a choice that I'm making, and that I want to lose weight for me, for my health, not because I feel bad about my appearance. Even though people have tried to, especially recently, that I'll tell you guys a story. So I studied theater in college. I've talked about that a lot. And we used to do these competitions where you would go to these conventions, kind of, and there would be 100 different acts that applied, and they would have different rules. Like the play you were in could only be 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long, and it could only include 2 people, or it could only include 4 people. There couldn't be any music in it. There had to be music in it. There's a bunch of different ones. And I used to do them just for fun. The competitions could result in like scholarships and stuff, but I never like pushed for the top tier. I don't know why. I just didn't. And the fun part was the tiers that I was at, which were the bottom tiers. We did it just to have a reason to go on a road trip, essentially. The people that were judging you weren't like the judges at the finals. They were like student judges who were trying to get themselves established in the circuit. Lots of them were like master's level students and stuff. And you would get this like 15 to 20 page report after you were done that broke down any and every single thing about the production. And I did this one production that was so small. It was myself, someone else, our costumes, of course. I think 3 props. I was a homeless man, and she was my estranged wife. There was a bench that I was asleep on. There was a gun, as there was a twist. And there was something else. There was it was her purse. Her purse that she had hit me with at one point. And that was it. It was our costumes, those 3 props, and the both of us. And I think it was a 10-minute or 15-minute, it's just a little one act. I mean, it was nothing. And I believe the report on it was 17 pages. And they go into everything. They go into everything about your looks, from the hair color to your... I grew my whole beard out, so it was all like long and scraggly. They go into the costume colors. There were limited lighting choices. I think we were allowed 3 lights or 4 lights, something like that. They go into set design, blocking decisions, anything and everything. And the page just on me and my appearance and how it related to the character and whether or not it made sense and stuff was like 2 pages. Now it's not written in such a way that shames you. And I mean, that's not what the goal is. The goal is just, every choice about your character is a choice, whether it's a choice made by the director or the set designer or the actor themselves, whoever it is. Somebody made a choice. And so what they're criticizing is the valuation of the choice related to the character that you're portraying, or the story that you're telling, everything and anything. So even though it's not, even though the purpose of it is not to shame you, I don't know that I've ever felt more vulnerable, because when I did it, it was in a very intimate space in what's known as a black box. If you don't know what a black box is a theater space that's painted completely black. Everything in it is black, and then you bring stuff into it to add character and whatever to the space and lights, whatever. And it was just me and my fellow actor, and I think there were 4 judges and my director, who was also seated in the audience. So as we were up there acting, I could literally hear the scratching of pens on paper, writing down notes. I stayed in character, but you can hear it. You can hear them judging you. Now, they're judging you professionally and they're judging you fairly, but they're judging you. They are judging you. And then the other one that I did was with a friend of mine, and we did an act from a play. We did Act 3. No, sorry. It's Act 2 of The Glass Menagerie, when he's talking to the guy that he works with. That's what we did. I did the other time. And that was not as intimate because it was on a proscenium, and we weren't as close to the judges. But that first one, man, and I was like 23, 24. I mean, I was a kid. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever been as intimidated as that in my entire life. Oh, yes, there was a twist. Do you guys want me to tell you the twist? So the twist was that, okay, so, and I don't remember the exact specifics. It's been a long time. It's been like 15 years since I did this play. But the twist was that you thought from the way the play started that she had kicked me out of the house, but I had kicked her out of the house because I had found her gun and I knew her plan for me. And she came into the park, and when she found me sleeping on the bench, she didn't know that I'd found her gun. And so I pull her gun out of my jacket pocket and I pointed at her. And then my recollection is that we get assaulted by bandits, which you don't see. And I save her life. with the gun, and she forgives me, and I forgive her, and we ended up happily married once again. So, and oh, are you back, Mary? But the person that okay, the person that I was in the play with, it was her first kiss was me when we were in the play, and I felt so bad about it. I was like, "You seriously, you've never kissed someone before?" And she's like, "No, you're going to be my first kiss." And I was like, "Oh my God." So anyway, that was her first kiss. We're still friends. She's a very nice person. Okay. Let us get back to Miss Mary. Yes. That was my friend. Hi, how are you? You sound far better. I can hear you now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
All right. So I moved downstairs.
Yes.
We're right next to my router. There's going to be people. I'm sorry.
It's
I
all
have
right.
Family.
It's okay.
Okay, good. So here I am.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, as I said earlier, we are talking about, or the thing that spawned this was this situation where someone else in an intersecting community faced some body shaming.
Yeah. So, okay. So
First of all, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Give us your background. Let people
background.
know what your background is with this.
So, okay. So I am somebody who's been overweight my entire life. My heaviest weight maxed out around, I want to say between 420 and 430. I don't have an accurate measurement of that. And it was basically, I hit my highest weight when I was in my 20s in college. And I just kind of stayed there for a while, lost a bit of it, but was still in the high 200, 300 range. And then after I had my second child 6 years ago, something flipped in me that I wanted to just like lose the weight, probably having kids. And since then, I've lost over 250 pounds.
That's amazing.
And thank you. And I've had skin removal surgery. I've had augmentation surgery, all sorts of stuff, because I firmly believe that everybody should feel good in their body. And we can talk about that later or something when it comes up. But
sure.
But yeah, so I'm just somebody who has been overweight, and I lost it naturally. I did not have surgery or anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's not my experience. And when after like maybe about a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer, I thought I would do a YouTube channel kind of documenting the last kind of legs of my weight loss, because I probably have about 50 to 60 pounds more I want to drop where I'm comfortable. And I started doing some YouTube videos on that very small channel. And I did a lot of it. I documented I did a whole series on my plastic surgery experience with all of the surgeries I've had, which I still think is one of my best video series. So if anybody's ever looking to have any kind of plastic surgery, especially like a body lift and a breast augmentation, check that out. I documented the whole thing. A lot of good info there. But it kind of got boring to me after a while because it's just wasn't the content that I wanted to do. So Angie, Brown Girl Life, who's in the chat right now, and I started doing a Twitch show called I'll Take the L. And we basically talk about things that kind of come up when you're overweight in the world. Cool. And so we've talked about things like employment discrimination, relationships, the language that we use when we talk about fat people and overweight people. Just a variety of topics. And I enjoy that. We enjoyed that much better. I enjoy it much more than making videos of me working out. So, and because it just, to me, I'll be honest, I think with that kind of content, it puts a lot of stress on you and a lot of pressure to really be successful. And my whole thing was I wanted to show it warts and all. So if I gained weight or if I had a bad week or a bad month, I was going to show you it. And I was going to be honest about it, because that's the honest way. Like, weight loss it's a process. It's a thing. It's not something that happens once. It's a whole lifetime. So I wanted that to be there. And then I was trying to be different than everybody else, which is something else we'll talk about. But yeah, so that's my background. I'm just somebody who's lived through it. I've kept the weight off now for 5 years, maybe a little less than that. So, which is kind of a big deal for like a large weight loss without kind of surgery.
Right.
So
Absolutely. No, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
so that's like my perspective, basically.
And,
That's really what it is.
And I think where we should start is, would you stop? Sorry, our producer is here who
Right.
apparently needs pets in the middle.
I have my staff behind me.
Yes.
If you can see.
And
Yeah.
every time I reach over for something, I get that's his face
Oh, okay.
throwing my arm up. And I
Mine is
think,
right here,
yes,
attached to my hip.
yes, that's how he's supervising tonight. And I think one of the big differences we should talk about is the difference between you and me. There's a difference in male presenting people and female presenting people.
There is
in
Huge
society
difference.
and social media, and there tend to be different body requirements for attractiveness
Yes.
between male presenting and female presenting people. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Of women, there's an expectation. Men, I think, get it easier, but I also feel that they don't. I think that let's just start right off the bat that there is men have body image issues just like women do.
Sure.
The problem is they don't talk about them very openly. Which is something that I think more men should, because it's probably a universal feeling, just like it is for women. But the expectation for women is that if you're going to be online and you're going to be presenting yourself as a channel, as a streamer, you're going to look a certain way. People want you to look, they want the hottie that is what everybody wants to look at and what's going to get you popular and
Sure.
more subscribers. And I'm fine with that. Like I'm one of those people, like when the whole like Twitch hot tub thing was going down, it didn't bother me. I was like, girl, go get your bag. Like
Sure.
it's cool. Like use
cares?
what you got. Like if
Right.
I could do it, I'd do it. It's all good.
Right.
But at the same time, it makes it harder for people who look like me, not like blonde with like 90 pounds in a bikini to build an audience, because that's not what people are being bombarded by when they log on to social media. They see someone else, and the expectation is that's what's always going to be there, and it makes
Right.
it harder for people to talk about, like, I don't know, serious topics, I guess. But men, they get a little bit of a pass. I think if men have a decent personality and are funny and entertaining, people are like, he's great. That they're not going to comment
Sure.
about your physical appearance
Sure.
first. They're going to comment about mine first, and they'll probably describe me by my physical attributes before they talk about my personality. And we do that in life. Like, I mean, that's the world we are in.
Right.
Everybody, people make judgments based on appearance immediately. I mean, we all do it.
Right.
But it's really no different on social media. The difference is that I think people fake it better than others, and that's
Sure.
the part that bothers me.
Well, and I think it's also important to remember that there are different attractiveness standards.
Yes.
There may be somebody that doesn't prefer a 90-pound blonde hottie, as you said. There may be somebody that likes some cushion for the pushin'.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's taller, or somebody who's I don't know.
I think that that is absolutely 100% true, and I agree with that and totally. And I think that there are more people out there who are attracted to different body types than there are the stereotypical ones. But it's not popular to talk about, not
Sure.
popular to admit to. But I think that it's harder for people who don't look perfect to really gain the audience and come out. It's also like, it has to do with your self-confidence. Are you confident enough to put yourself out there knowing that you're going to get this feedback? And
Right.
so I think a lot of people who struggle with whether it's their weight, whether it's something about their something about their physical appearance, it's harder for them to want to put themselves out there because they know immediately that's something that's going to be commented on. So
Sure. And I think another thing that can be difficult is that because those standards vary, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this without offending anybody. So if somebody is watching your content, there tends to be this entitlement feeling.
Yes.
There's a joke that's been made among content creators since content was created in ancient wherever it is that we come from. Make the content I want you to make. And that's a tale as old as time. We tie it today to like YouTubers and stuff, but that's been happening for as long as people have been making art. So, and what I also see is this attitude of, well, look the way that I want you to look. And like I see it more with people who are female presenting than male presenting, but I've seen it with both. But you'll get somebody in chat. So for instance, hey, yesterday your hair was straight. Today it's curly. It looks better straight. You should wear it straight. Or yesterday you were wearing blue eyeliner. Today you're wearing purple. The blue looks better. Or today you're wearing a green shirt and the black shirts look better on you. What? Anything. Anything about your appearance.
Yes.
So,
and this is something, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I think it's important that content creators recognize that the first thing you should do is not listen to them. That's A. B, ignore them. And those are two different things. Not listening is different from ignoring, because not listening means I'm not listening to you, but I still heard you and it's going to affect me in some way. Ignoring means it doesn't. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that? Will I fix the looper that for some reason is going off every 2 seconds and it's really distracting?
I think that this is something that I hope Angie doesn't mind me using her name, Angie, Brand Grown Life, and I talk about a lot, because we comment a lot on a specific space on social media, which is the fitness, diet, weight loss, diet, and exercise space. And if there is ever a community of people who feel that they own their content creators, it's that one. You have people who have there's a whole other niche genre of content that's made just to react to people who are on weight loss journeys or physical transformations. I mean, these are people who are providing commentary about how they feel somebody's either being successful or failing. Right. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. Which is another reason why it's hard to, want to do anything on social media that want to even create a channel, because people really feel like they can comment on anything. You're public property once you are online. You put it out there, so I can comment on it. And I think that to be successful in creating content, you have to know that that's what's you have to just kind of try to figure out a way to make peace with yourself that people are going to have an opinion about you, whether it's your physical appearance, whether it's your intelligence, whether it's something you said, like anything they can possibly have an opinion on, they're going to have. And they're going to have expectations because they think they know you, and they think that they've formed some kind of relationship with you. And if you don't do what they expect, that can cause them to get angry, upset, critical. And we see it all the time. Like, Angie and I talk about this constantly. We have, some favorite people that make content in this space, and it's amazing how their audiences really critique them, and to the point where they've had to take breaks and have straight out said, I'm not doing this right now because I can't handle the criticism I'm getting. And, you're right. You have to ignore it and you have to not listen to it. And, unfortunately, and I'm speaking from many years of experience, it's really hard to do that if you're very self-conscious and you're not confident in your appearance or yourself. It's really, really hard to do that. It's easy for us to say, don't listen to it. Oh, sure. Or, it's some random person who doesn't mean anything in your life.
And it's a journey to learning how.
Yes.
Because it doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that you can go, oh, okay, well, Ethan told me to ignore them, so now I'm ignoring them. No. Yeah. That would be nice.
And I think that's, that whole thing about it being a journey is something that that's something that does turn me off to the social media kind of presentation of fitness, weight loss, body imaging, because I think that a lot of times when we see people who are, either influencers or what we feel are successful at what they're doing, I'm not entirely convinced 100% that the work to get to that place in mentally and to have that confidence and that, belief in yourself is always being done. Um, and so let me explain what I mean by this. So like Angie and I talk a lot about, so I don't, I have a, I come from a person being overweight their entire life with no real, like, I want to say diagnosis or kind of disorder that has led to my eating.
Right.
My co-host has binge eating disorder, and she's in therapy for it. And she talks very openly about that therapy, and I've learned immensely from her. I'm so happy that she's there to actually share this. There are probably tons of people in this space that are suffering from certain things, or whether it be binge eating disorder, whether it be a different kind of eating disorder, or whether it just being like eating from emotional depression or anything like that, who will never talk about that. That's and that is like the reality of being the reality of their channels is not just like, look at me, I lost 5 pounds this week and I'm going to go show you a workout. The reality also is I'm working through some stuff to get to a place where I feel healthy fully, mentally and physically. And we gloss over the mental aspect of it and emotional aspect of it so much that, it's just like it's we're only getting half the story. And
Right.
I think that at this point we all really believe that these people are they've just did 60-minute abs for 3 weeks and they have a 6-pack. That's not reality.
I saw somebody today talking online about the what did they call it, the MCU male bod.
Oh God.
And because the new God of War game was announced, and in the new God of War game is Thor, and Thor in the new God of War game is Fat Thor, just like Fat Thor was Fat Thor in the new Avengers Endgame.
Right.
And somebody said something to the effect of, a bodybuilder is at their weakest when they're at competition because they're so dehydrated.
Yep.
Because they dehydrate themselves so that their skin pulls to their muscles so you can see their muscles more clearly.
Yes.
And as a man, I do see, Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and all of them, all those men. And I'm like, well, it'd be nice to look that way, or, you hear someone comment on how good they look. And I'm like, wow, I wish somebody would think I looked nice. That would be nice. They don't, because I don't look that way. And I never will, because I don't have the body type for it. And there's genetics plays a large part.
Oh, there's a huge genetics part.
Right.
There's a huge genetics
in your muscle build. But that being said, for me, it's more about I just want to feel healthy. When I'm overweight, I don't feel as good.
Mm-hmm.
It's mowing the lawn is more arduous because I'm carrying around the weight that's on me along with the lawnmower. And so, I have a feeling to lose weight for my health, not necessarily for my appearance. I mean, it'll feel nice to look nice, as they say. But could you talk a little bit about, dealing with that, with those feelings of, I guess, envy?
I try to, that's kind of why I shifted the focus of my content, because I think that, we all want to look like Chris Evans and Chris Helmworth, except that
I'm very close. Let's be honest.
me too, I'm telling you, but
half
I
a
don't
point.
think what people realize, or and why this is the thing. It comes down to these these 20-minute videos that influencers make, or anybody in the space makes that has a good the ideal physique. But what's lacking there is the fact that they're probably spending like 6 to 7 hours a day in the gym. probably working out 3 times a day.
And
They
probably
have
eating 4 to
well, they
5,000
have
calories.
right. They have or with a chef that might be cooking it for
Right,
them, or some
exactly.
kind of food service or
Right.
something. And that's just not my life. That's not your life, I don't think.
No.
I mean, I'm very honest. I use a very intense workout, but the most intense workout I do, it lasts 90 minutes, maybe, like
Right.
tops. Because I can't fit any more into my life, and
Sure.
I don't want to push myself.
Dude, an
do
hour and a
more than
half
that.
of my day just to work out. I don't have it.
Right.
I don't
mean,
have it.
and I have to do it at 4:30 in the morning to fit
Right.
it in, because that's what I choose to do. Right. That's fine.
Sure.
But these people are being paid to look like this. And I
Right.
think we forget that a lot. And it's
Right.
not just the people on the movie screen. It's also the people on our computer screens who are being paid to look like this, who have promotions. Some of them have had work done. Let's be honest here.
And if you guys don't know this, I don't know that in the last 5 years there hasn't been a contract made with an actor in Hollywood above the age of probably 22 that doesn't have some sort of
Weight or body physics.
something.
I didn't know that. But
They take that. What they do is they crush up silicone chips and they just smear them on the screen. It's a true story. I would not make that up. And
Right.
by doing that, they take away lines and wrinkles and weight. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Trio has a question. What's tougher? Emotionally keeping motivated to lose weight, or a diet to stick to, or being active?
Well, I have my opinion. And I see it. There are very few. I have a very few handful of people I actually follow. I don't recommend it. I don't make any recommendations because I think it all is terrible. But we'll get to. I can
Right.
talk more about that in a minute. But what I personally think is that the hardest part. Everybody thinks that the exercise, the activity, whatever form that means for you, is the hard part. That's not the hard part. The hard part is the food.
Yeah.
It really is, because we can be active and we can choose. We're probably, if we find something we like to do, we're more willing to do it, and that's fine. But nobody likes to be on a diet, and nobody wants to eat a certain way, and that's
Right.
kind of what I talk about a little bit, is that it doesn't have to be a diet. Okay, I think and that's a problem too, is that we have been, with our diet culture, with everything, even now with social media. When people say you want to lose weight, you have to eat a certain way, we automatically think we have to go to like 1,200 calories a day and we have to starve ourselves. And that is absolutely, positively not the reality of the
No.
situation. Yes, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Yes, it is calories in, calories out. That it's very true. It's that simple. There's no magic pill, potion, or lotion that's going to change this. But, if you're somebody who eats, if you're tracking your food and you want to lose some weight, and you're somebody who eats, like, let's say 2,500 calories a day, right?
Mhm.
Which is very easy to do, depending on your food choices.
Sure.
Just pulling that back 500 calories would show a weight loss for you.
Oh, sure.
If you're every day. So it's not going on a starvation diet. It's not. And I think that that's a problem, and that's why diets fail, because people are going from eating like a certain way, and the way that's eating a lot of food, to then automatically being thrown on like Weight Watchers or whatever protein shake, whatever the hell it is that they're going to do, which is like a severe calorie restriction, and your body's like, what the fuck?
Right.
And that's not how it has to work. It doesn't have to be that way. And
I've been thinking about doing a series where I go on Tom Brady's diet for a month,
oh God.
but I don't know.
Is it he, like, I don't even know anymore. He's like a vegetarian, right?
He
Like,
eats.
what is he?
He eats rhubarb.
Oh
He
God.
eats greens. Children. I don't know. It's very.
It's very strict.
It's very strict, but
and very weird from
right.
what I remember.
It's like nothing red. Like, he doesn't eat tomatoes or strawberries because they cause inflammation in the joints.
Yeah, well, it
or
depends
something.
but it doesn't cause inflammation for everybody. I mean, that's the thing, right?
Right.
I mean, and when people ask me, to make a recommendation for weight loss and dieting. What I say, and they want me to give them like a channel or somebody to watch or somebody to follow, and I tell them, no, I'm not going to give you any of that because I don't recommend that. What you
Sure.
need to do is, it's very simple. You need to either first, you got to talk to your doctor and make sure you can do something, like you're healthy enough
Sure.
to be able to
Right.
do exercise or to change your diet. And then I just straight out tell them, go see a nutritionist or a dietitian and work with them on your meal, on your meal planning and your food, and they'll do the same exact thing I just said. They're not going to put you on a 1200 calorie starvation diet. They're going to bring it back gradually and work with you. You know, to be successful, you have to go with what's going to work for you. And you know what? You could be on a 1400, 1600 calorie diet and still eat some of the crap that you used to
Sure.
eat. It's just a matter of like what you're doing and keeping track of it.
Ben Franklin, what he would do, he said he only ever ate until he was 70% full, and then he would stop eating. He never ate himself to fullness.
Really?
That was his. You know.
That's pretty much the basis of modern weight loss surgery, right? I mean, like,
sure.
You know, so that's the thing, is that I think, you know, we have this mindset, and it's reinforced in every way possible, that you know, you have to starve yourself. And it, you know, you go online and you look at, you know, influencers, you look at people on Instagram, you look at people on YouTube, and they're eating a certain way, and they're, you know, and they're reinforcing this. You're never going to hear anybody talking about the fact that, you know, yeah, I had ice cream last night because I wanted ice cream.
Sure.
And, you know, and that's fine. And, you know, nobody says like, and that's okay that I had that ice cream. You know, it's like, oh, I cheated, or, oh, it's like a cheat day or something. And like, no, you wanted ice cream, have the fucking ice cream. Okay. Like, seriously, just, you know, don't eat a pint of it. Eat like a you know, a smaller portion of it. Like, I mean, you know, that's what sets yourself up for failure. So I always say to people, like, you know, just like, I have a friend who is trying to lose weight, and I straight out said to her, you know what, the first thing you need to do is just do this. Don't stop drinking soda, and don't get like your Frappuccino every day at Starbucks. Just do that.
Right.
I'm like, anything. Don't. And she didn't. I'm like, and maybe walk for 15 minutes or whatever. Don't. And she said, okay, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to give a month. She lost 12 pounds in that month because she stopped drinking soda and drinking, you know, and having Starbucks Frappuccinos.
Yep.
Okay.
That'll do it. Not
a huge thing to sacrifice.
Sure.
I mean, really not. But, you know, we don't think about liquids in calories, and we think about calories on a plate. We don't think about it in a cup.
Well, and I think it also touches back on something that we kind of glossed over earlier. But there's well, Artop said it in one of his comments. But there's a metabolic aspect to this that is largely determined by genetics.
Oh, yeah.
You can absolutely affect your metabolism. I'm not saying that you can't, but your metabolism first changes as you get older, and there is not a lot you can do about that. And it changes on your behavior and your lifestyle and on what you eat. Your sleep schedule can affect your metabolism. So there's a lot more that goes into being healthy than that. And I think kind of what the main thing I wanted to say, and I think you're going to agree with me on this, but how it's not funny to body shame people. I don't find it funny.
No, it's not. And part of what we do on I'll Take the L is that what makes it a little different is that I'm a librarian. So we would pick a topic every week, and I would actually go do research and bring back peer-reviewed literature that showed studies that proved the things that we're talking about. And there is actual scientific evidence that, you know, body shaming, I mean, this is not a big revelation here, but like, it does not do anything to help anybody be successful in feeling better about themselves or losing weight or anything. So in fact, it's been proven that just like if I was going to have a conversation with my husband, a couple having a conversation about their weight, if one of them wants to talk about weight loss or weight, that has been shown to actually automatically rev up all the stress hormones in your body. It's just automatically talking about weight has a very detrimental effect on your body. Right. So when people are assholes about it, or feel like they can comment on anything or you or whatever. I mean, it's not. I don't ever understand people who say, "Well, I'm just trying to motivate you. Or I'm just trying to encourage them by saying these things." Nothing you're saying is going to encourage anybody.
No.
All you're doing is showing that you're a very insensitive person. Like,
Right.
That's what you've successfully done.
Well,
and,
actually, where I come from, we call them assholes.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that goes back to my thing. Like, I just don't feel like, just don't comment on people's bodies. Like,
Sure.
especially if you don't know the person.
Right. And that's what I was
Like-
saying before you came in was, and he did recently, so I'm bringing this up. When my dad came to recently, it was like, you should probably lose some weight because you're getting a little unhealthy. That's not the same as saying, oh, look at the fat boy with boobs,
Right. Right.
And I
But even-
appreciated it. And I was like, Dad, you're right. I do. I
Right.
need to start being a little bit more diet conscious, and I need to be getting more exercise. And my body is reflecting the fact that I'm not. He didn't come to me and shame me and say, you fat piece of...
and it doesn't always have to be that, because there's
Sure.
a lot of concern trolling that happens too. Like, people are like, well, I'm just talking about it because I'm worried about your health. It's
Sure
like, no,
you
you're
are.
not.
No.
You're not. You don't care. Like,
don't
it doesn't
care.
matter to you.
No.
So, that is there. And I really do like stick to that thing. I don't ever talk about, I try not to talk about my experience, my diet and exercise experience and my lifestyle, unless somebody asks me about it, because I do not want to bring anybody to feel like I have an expectation that they're going to, like, I am always like, this is all about me. This is not about anybody else. Like, go fit, go,
Sure.
I will help, I will assist. But like, I do not expect anybody to be in 100% agreement or compliance with what I'm doing, because what
Right.
I'm doing works for me. You got to figure it out for yourself, but I'm willing to help you get there. But this thing about health, that's the other part that kills me in this conversation, is that health is, what being healthy is different to everybody in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, we know, so like, this health at every size movement, a lot of what they point out to is they love to point out people, these people who are massively overweight, like what I was,
Mhm.
and say, oh, but my blood work looks great. My blood pressure is fine. My this and that is okay. Like, medically, every test that they run on me, I look great. And I'm like, okay, well, let me tell you, when I was 430 pounds, my blood panel looked great. My blood pressure was awesome. And on paper, I looked like the picture of health.
Right.
I was 23 years old. I couldn't walk across campus without running out of breath. I couldn't fit into the seats in a lecture hall. I couldn't fit into seats at a movie theater. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without feeling like I was going to die. And I'm 23 years old. That
Wow.
is not healthy. I'm also completely depressed and emotionally upset because of my physical appearance and that whole like negative feedback loop. So yeah, that might be healthy if that I look great on paper, but my quality of life sucks. So how am I healthy that way? And I think that, we forget about that because it's all about what the scale says. Like, it's all about that, what the scale says and what you can show us, like, in terms of what you've lost or gained or whatever. That's important. It's not, we forget about your quality of life. And let me tell you something, because my former trainer was one of these people who does body competitions, and you know what? Their quality of life ain't great. They're eating nothing. They don't eat for like 3 days. You're right. They don't eat for like 3 days before a competition.
Yep.
They're completely dehydrated and starving. And the amount of work and time that they put into looking like that is it's their full-time job.
That's not a
friend, quality of life. You have to really want that and want to do that do that.
I had a friend at an old job who was getting into that, and he would bring these like Tupperwares about this big, full of chicken, fried eggs, and broccoli to work every day. And he would have to eat 4 of them while he was at work, in addition to his lunch. Right. In addition to what he ate before he got to work and after, because he was at I think he was at 4,200 calories a day or something.
Because he's spending 4 hours in the gym, probably.
Correct. Yeah, no, and he went to the gym before he came to work, and he went to the gym out. I mean, he was going into competition.
Right.
It was like his competition season or something. He didn't do this all the time.
To do that, I'm totally okay with that. If that's what you want to do. But that's a huge sacrifice.
That's what I was gonna say. My point is, that's a sacrifice too. Like, what he would always complain about is how expensive all the food was. That he was spending $300 to $400 a week just on food.
Yeah.
Just to feed himself so that he could do this. Like it's not even it's not even just the time cost of working out. There's literally a money cost to eat, to buying all of that food and consuming it.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway.
Angie always makes fun of me because I talk about the fact that I just eat like pretty much ground turkey, chicken, and rice, and I'm like, but that's what works for me. Like that's what I like,
Sure.
you know. And again, but like that is expensive. Like I mean, when if I'm on plan, really like sticking to it and doing my thing, I'm buying like 10 pounds of ground turkey a week. I mean,
wow,
like
you really like ground turkey.
Well, I mean, I have a very bad stomach, so I have to pick and choose what I eat.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I've always had issues like that. So
Gotcha.
I go bland is good for me. It works. I've learned to like live with it. It's not a big thing.
Sure.
But it's expensive. Like I mean, if you're somebody who's really crazy working out in the gym, your protein consumption is going to be through the roof. Like, and that's it gets expensive depending upon what your protein is, you know. And even if it's in powder form or shake form, that's expensive too. That's, you know,
I had a good friend.
Supplements are crazy expensive.
Right. I had a good friend in college. Actually, you know what? It was while I was doing that play I was telling you guys earlier. She and I had a class together. But she was a sports science major. There we go. And we had like a government class together or something, but we just became friends. And I was trying to go on a diet for this homeless man because I wanted to put on some weight because I wanted to look a little frumpy, you know. And she was like, you know what the best thing you can eat is? She said fruit. And I was like, well,
yeah.
I was like, well, but no, I want to lose weight. She's like, no, vegetables make you lose weight. Fruit is a great way to put on weight because especially it was bananas. There were three of them. It was like bananas, honeydew, and something else. But because the glucose amounts were off the charts.
Yeah, fruit is full of sugar.
Right.
Like, I mean,
so if I ate a bunch of that, it was a way for me to gain. Because I gained like 10 pounds in like 2 weeks or something.
Oh yeah.
3 weeks.
I mean, diabetics have to watch their fruit. Like that's how much. I don't think we think about fruit as being unhealthy because it's shoved down our throats that it's not, and that's fine because it's really not. I mean, it's something you should have part of.
Sure, you
but
should
it's
eat
full
fruit,
of sugar.
Yeah,
it's full of sugar.
You shouldn't sit down and eat an entire bunch of bananas.
Yeah, exactly.
At once, right?
You know, so so anybody who has a health issue where sugar is concerned, that's not the path they're going to go down. But I mean, it all comes back to what your end game and end goal is. Like, you know, if somebody wants to see, it's also the attitudes are very different too. Like me being 425 pounds, I'm going to have a very different kind of diet and exercise situation going on for myself than somebody who's about trying just to lose like the last 20 pounds that they put on over the quarantine or something, right?
Sure.
Those things look completely different. And I think we equate them way too much.
Oh,
like
I agree.
The person who's going to lose 20 pounds thinks they have to like be on the strict diet that I'm going to be on to lose 200 pounds. And that's not how it works, which I said earlier. But, you know, we demonize food constantly. So like, that's a whole other story and situation that it works against us. But, you know, the thing is that there are so many, we get so many crappy messages from social media and from society about what we can and can't do with our bodies. And, you know, yes, going back to the genetic thing, absolutely 100% believe I see that. And what really drove that home to me was when my husband and I had kids. We each have a mini me. My youngest is me. Like she's built exactly like me, looks exactly like me. My oldest one is my husband. Right. And I would never, ever in my life have been like, oh, genetics are not that big of a deal, because until I saw that my child is literally built exactly like I am. Like it's just really like crazy. Right. So, so genetics is a huge thing, especially, and, you know, and the way our musculature is built and everything, it's all, you know, genetic. But at the same time, I think that we really want to believe in this crap that gets peddled to us. So like, my least favorite thing, the thing that drives me crazy when we talk about like, diet and exercise is this whole, like, you know, you can spot reduce fat on your body. Like that drives me crazy.
What?
Yeah. So, when people are like, here, you want to lose weight, you want to lose the fat around your stomach or your arms or your legs. Here's what you need to do that.
I guess there's some measure of that, but not like in an
no, there really
isn't
any measure of it, because fat doesn't come off our bodies like that.
Well, but I'm saying, like, if your chest isn't, like, there's some toning that you could do, but you're not going to lose the fat, is what I mean. Right.
Well, the thing is that, the way to lose fat is to be in a calorie deficit. That's how you lose fat.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's
don't put the peanut butter on top of the ice cream. Just have the peanut butter.
But
by
our
itself.
bodies lose it, like where it's going to lose it from. There's no way I can say I'm going to focus on my chest, but I'm going to build muscle there. That's fine. That I can do. I'm not going to, and it's going to appear like I've lost a lot of fat because I'm building muscle, but it's not like me just working on that. It doesn't mean that that's where the fat is melting from. Because at the same time, I could be losing fat off my ass, right? Because I'm exercising. And with women, we know that most of the time we lose it from our breasts first, our upper chest area, and around our hips, and area where we would be keeping a baby warm and have extra padding, right? So like we see that. So there is no like 30-minute abs that you can do and get them in 6 weeks. That's not, you can keep working on them, and you should be working on your abs every day. And if you're exercising correctly, you are working on your core. So yeah, but I mean, there's no magic thing there. There really isn't. And it kills me when people are like, but you can do this and you can't. And I'm like, no, you really can't. And then the other one that drives me up a wall is a pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat, which I never, ever understood why anybody ever believes in my life. Like, I don't. Like a pound is a pound is a pound.
Listen,
is a pound.
On the moon, a pound of fat falls faster than I don't know. I'm making shit up.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
But these are the things we tell ourselves, though, and to make ourselves feel better. And I'm fine with making yourself feel better to a point, but you also have to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, you gained weight, not because you gained 3 pounds this week, not because pound of muscle work, is heavier than a pound of fat. It's because you ate off your meal plan, you didn't exercise, and you overindulged, and it's showing. It's going to come out.
Right.
I mean, there are a million things that affect what you see on the scale every single day, which is why I do not weigh myself every single day. I am all about like maybe once a week to once a month. I tell people all the time, don't even look at the scale.
Well, and your weight can change in a day by how much water you drank.
How much water you drank.
I drink 4 of these a day. That's affecting my weight.
If I walked a mile or two because I decided to go hiking one day, the amount of inflammation in my leg muscles are going to make me gain weight. Like, I mean, so there's so many things that are going to, I tell people, don't weigh yourself after leg day. Don't weigh, after hard exercise sessions. Don't do that. But my thing is, if you're really looking to increase your muscle and lose body fat, like if you are somebody who's looking to lose weight and, tone up, then go get your body composition done and look at your muscle mass and your fat content and look at that.
Yeah, your BMI and all that stuff. Sure.
Right. And because that's more of an indication of what's happening. The scale's good for like, I use the scale as like, well, if I see a wild fluctuation, I'm like, okay, gotta figure out what's going on. And, let's see what am I doing? Is my eating off plan? Am I not exercising? Like, what am I doing? But as far as like gauging my progress in muscle and fat loss, I look at a body composition, because the scale means nothing. It really, it's an arbitrary number that goes up and down depending upon what you're doing and what you've eaten and what you've, how you feel, where you're weighing yourself, like the floor that you put it on. I mean, there's so many things that
well, I want to wind us down. So if you guys have any final questions and comments, it's time to do it. But so are you still doing the show on Twitch that you brought up?
Well, I just went back to work in June. I've been home with my children for the past 7 years. So I've re-entered the workforce, and I've since then, I've been kind of like in this shock to my system of like having to go to work and having the kids went back to school physically. So there's been a lot of craziness in our house.
Sure.
And I have a very strict work day. So we have to find another time. Angie and I are going to come back. I think I'm getting to the place where I feel comfortable enough with life right now that I can say, okay, we're going to do this at this time. I think we're going to have to suck it up and move it to like Saturday or Sunday because that's better for me.
Right. Okay. Well, what's the Twitch channel? Share it for people so they know where to go.
It's just PigsInSpace with an underscore at the end. That's just my name. On YouTube, it's I'll Take the L, which is the channel that has all my prior content, which is all like my weight loss and exercise. Plus, it has the archive of all of the Twitch streams on it. And
so
there's some
mods. If you guys can find twitch.tv/PigsInSpace_, put that up and find I'll Take the L YouTube channel. Put both of those in the chat for me. Rattlechana has a question.
Sure.
Do women sometimes feel pressure to maintain a certain fat level to maintain breast size or bust size, and can this hurt attempts to diet?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. Let's say, okay. So, really with women, I think the only thing they should really be concerned about is like if they have enough body fat to continue to menstruate or do proper bodily functions that we do, because that's why we have a certain amount of fat on our body. But yes, I mean, you can, if you're somebody that wants to not have your chest shrink, then you're not going to work on your chest. I mean, I don't know, like it really depends on your body. Like with me, I was so overweight that when I lost all my weight, I lost my entire chest, my breasts, everything. They went, like the skin was just there. And I thought like, okay, I'll have a breast lift and I'll be okay. And the doctor was like, no, you have to have implants because you have no shape. Like, cause I was so overweight that I lost like a lot of my skin was so stretched out and I was over 40. So the elasticity wasn't there as much. I had kids. So, he was just like, if you want to be, I don't want to say normal, but if you want to be in proportion and you want to actually look, have a curve to your chest area, you're going to have to get implants because otherwise you're going to have nothing there.
Right.
And, yes, you can probably drop enough weight that your chest. I mean, a lot of women, when they start losing weight, that's the first place they notice is that they feel like their breasts have they've gone down a bra size or something. Sure. Eventually that all evens out. So I don't think you really have to worry too much about that unless you're somebody like me who's dropping like a tremendous amount of weight. It's really, it might happen because, when you first start losing weight, your body's kind of like in shock and it's like, oh my God, we're going to drop a lot of weight right away. And you might see stuff like that, but then eventually it evens out and you kind of find like a pretty good rhythm of weight loss and unless you're doing like some crazy starvation diet.
Yeah. I had a friend in high school. By the time we got to 11th grade, we were in the same class. She was already like an H cup. And she she was very skinny. She was like a, size 2 or something. And she had to have 3 separate breast reduction surgeries because it was screwing up her back. I mean, she was having horrible back issues. Like when she was like 16, 17, they were like, if you don't get this, you're going to have like slip discs and stuff. I mean, it was so.
I mean, just to give an idea of what we're talking about in somebody like my case, I went from a 46 chest to a 38. Like, that's how, that's how much I lost. And that's how much like skin I had, there. And I had my arms done first because that was my own personal thing that drove me crazy. But then when I had the body lift, it was literally because I had so much excess skin in my abdominal area that it was hindering me from doing things. It was causing problems. And I was like, I have to get rid of it. And I may have to do it again which is something we talked about with my doctor spoke to me about because I had so much weight to lose that, it's probably going to have to get done again when I lose more weight because it's just what's going on.
Sure.
But, that's a reality that, if you're, extreme weight loss, you're going to go from like a high number to a low number really quick.
And I think while we're on this, what a big part of why we want to talk about this is that it's important. One of the reasons for me, and I think for you too, it's important that we don't ridicule people for their bodies or their appearances. We don't know these types of things that are going on. Because people don't tend to share it.
I am somebody who absolutely believes that whatever you need to do to feel comfortable in your body, as long as you're not hurting anybody and yourself, go for it.
Sure.
Like, so I know people who've lost massive amounts of weight and have lots of skin, excess skin, who are fine with it and it doesn't bother them. They don't. Personally, I was somebody who physically it was bothering me, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't like the way it looked on me.
Right.
It's really hard to lose so much weight, to lose 250 pounds and look in a mirror and feel like you didn't do anything successful because you still have like skin and
Sure.
you don't. And to me, that was kind of how I felt. And I wanted to look better than I did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if I don't like the way I look and I can do something about it, I'm going to do something about it, just like anybody else would. If I want to tattoo my entire body, I'm going to do that. Doesn't
Sure.
bother you. So, I think that we have this like thing with surgery.
A sleeve on your left arm, right?
I do. I have a very large sleeve on my
awesome.
left arm. Thank you.
That is
Thank
so
you.
cool.
Thank you. And I think plastic surgery has like some weird connotation to it because, you're changing the way you look. But I mean, more people than you think have had plastic surgery. Like, let's put it out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people that you're watching on fitness YouTube and Instagram, they've had plastic surgery. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Lipo, everything. Like,
Sure.
and I've had all of it. I documented all of it. I'm honest about it because I think that's the only way people learn is if other people are willing to share their experiences with them.
Exiled lecture tattoo, by the way.
Thank you. So I'm very like, let's be honest about it. Like, that's my attitude.
Sure.
Like,
but not everybody is. And
no,
and that's okay. I think that's
it is absolutely okay.
It's totally fine if you're not somebody that wants to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's 100. That's fine. That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And no one should make you feel bad about it, and you shouldn't be making people feel bad about it.
Nope.
All right. Well, listen. I don't want to make this too long. We've already been going an hour and 16.
I'm so sorry for the technical issues.
No. There's nothing to be. You're fine. Lauren says you can only cut out so many calories before you're eating too few calories and causing more issues for yourself. And that's how I want to finish is, can you talk about I don't want to say dangers, but the pitfalls that you can run into by over dieting?
Yeah. See, so I think a thing that we fall into, so I'm a weightlifter. That's what I chose. That's something I found that I liked. That was the exercise I liked. I hate cardio. I hate everything else.
Right.
I do weightlifting. And weightlifting is great, except that, this ties into why I got my arms because I'm constantly looking. You have to look in the mirror constantly. You're constantly looking at yourself. It's very vain. It's a very vain,
Right.
very vain thing to do. And I think that when you are on a weight loss journey, and if you're really, really focused on the way you look and appear, it can get to a point where it becomes kind of obsessive. And you will do whatever, you feel like, I have to just do this because it's going to make me lose that last 5 pounds, or it's going to make my arms look like this, or it's going to, and that is something that we can all fall into, that we, if we just restrict a little bit more, it'll help.
Right.
And the problem is that, once you start restricting, your body's going to be like, bitch, slow down.
Right.
We're not going to do anything now.
Right.
We're going to just chill. And so when people plateau and, get upset about it, I always kind of say, well, usually you plateau because you want to just shake something up. So whether it's your food, and I don't mean cutting back on it, I mean just changing up what you're eating or changing up the exercise you're doing, just shock your body a little bit into like getting back into it. But when we focus so much on the amount of calories and how we look, it becomes a real problem. And I know people who won't refuse to even log their calories because they know that once they start doing that, they become very obsessive, and they just say,
I saw there's a cutting board, by the way, I saw yesterday that has a screen on it. And then, so as you're cutting things on the cutting board, you can track
I've seen
it on
that.
the cutting board.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And it weighs it too. I think it has a scale in it as well.
Yeah. You can really get to a place that's not really, I mean, like, that's
I was
fun.
Like, I use my cutting board, even if I'm making an intricate meal, I'm not making all of it on the cutting board. Like, anyway. All right.
I mean, I just feel like people, here's the thing. Like, again, I say, go see a professional who deals with this. So go see a dietitian, see a nutritionist, talk to your doctor before you start anything. Find out if you can do it, like if you're healthy enough to do it. Especially if you have any underlying health conditions, absolutely 100% positively check with a medical professional.
Right.
And then my only other advice that I give people is find, you have to do some kind of movement. And I say, like, I do not believe in health at every size, but I believe in fitness at every size. I believe in movement at every size. So
Right.
even if you were 450-pound me trying to start doing exercise, sitting down and standing up from a chair for 10 seconds on, 20 seconds off is movement.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it starts.
Yep.
We don't have to walk into a gym and go do 45 minutes on the elliptical or go lift weights. So I tell people, try different things,
Sure.
find something you like because you'll stick with it. And just remember that you're starting at the beginning, and that's where it is. You're
and
not
there's
there's no expectation that you're going to be amazing at this when you start.
And there's a saying that I like that is kind of a bastardization of a quote from the Tao, but it's anything worth doing poorly is worth doing well, but I'm turning it around on you.
Okay.
Because here's what I mean. Don't say I have to go jogging for 30 minutes. Go jogging for 3.
Yeah.
Don't go on a 15-minute walk. Go on a 5-minute walk.
Absolutely.
If you can't go on a walk, go outside for a minute. If you can't lift 200 pounds, go lift
2 pounds.
Go lift
like
2.
Seriously.
Right. Like,
I mean,
it's totally okay. It's 100% okay. If you can't do this big, huge exercise, if you only do a little bit, if you only do 5 minutes of yoga instead of 30.
Yeah.
Even if that's all you can put together. It's okay.
And a lot of people will use trainers and stuff, and I'm totally pro trainer.
Sure.
But any trainer worth their salt, if you have an issue that you can't do something, or you have like some kind of if it's whether it's you just are physically, you're too heavy, you can't do it, you have a back problem, you have any kind of issue with your body,
Sure.
Any trainer worth their salt is going to adapt whatever they need to do to make you be successful. So again, I tell people, trainers are just like finding a good doctor. If you don't like the one you're working with, go find another one. Like they're used to it. They don't care. They know it's the way it is. The gym is not a scary place. I love seeing fat people at the gym. I think more of us need to be there to normalize it, and I love it.
Go congratulate them and ask them if there's anything you can do to help.
And let me tell you, the weightlifting community has been some of the bodybuilding and weightlifting community have been some of the most uplifting, positive, wonderful people I've ever met in my life. These are people that want you to succeed. They're not going to ever make fun of you. They're not going to say anything to you. They'll help you if you ask them. Many people at the gym are like that.
Most of them are. Most of them are. Yeah. Most people are good people. I want to remind you of that.
Yeah, and most people who are into fitness love it when they see other people starting out. And
it's
wanting
their
to
hobby.
Be better.
Like when somebody comes to me and is like, "Hey, I have some questions about streaming." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What do you want to like? I'll talk about this shit for hours." Like, anyway, Mary, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
I appreciate you being here. And guys, I want to tell you a little bit about the schedule for the weekend. So, unfortunately, I have to work tomorrow. So I was going to do an after show tonight on Twitch,
Me too.
I have to be up super early tomorrow. So there's not going to be an after show tonight on Twitch. I am going to I don't know what time I'm done working tomorrow. So I could be done at 2:00 in the afternoon. I might not be done till 6 or 7 tomorrow night. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow on Twitch, but there's no promises. Yes. So I'm going to try. But I want to thank Mary for being here. I want to thank Angie for being in the chat. That was awesome. I want to thank all the mods because you guys did great work, like always. Everybody that came by and chatted, and we'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.
Have a great weekend.